Hello, friends. This is Spencer Love, your host of Over the Top Rope on the Win Column Sports Network. Don't forget you can head to wincolumnsports.ca for all of your previews, reviews, and breaking news from the world of wrestling, be it your major promotions or from the great province of Alberta, Canada.
Awesome!
This is your main man RJ from the Ringside Rant, heard only on the Visionaries Wrestling Network. So go over and subscribe across all your major platforms, iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Stitcher to hear every great interview I have every Monday on the Visionaries Wrestling Network. Go over and follow the show's page on Twitter @_Ringside Rant. Follow the network's page @BizWrestleNet. And, as always, embrace the vision.
If you like podcasts and you are listening to on Backbreaker Media, then you should listen to me, Chris Parrish,
and myself, Manoia,
and the Sounds of Struggle, because we are literally the most entertaining duo you'll ever come across in Western Canadian wrestling, baby.
We talk about things like wrestling
and other sports we like.
Wrestling,
but we won't talk about other sports that we don't like, because it's not that kind of podcast.
Like wrestling?
I mean, we like hockey.
And wrestling.
And we like football.
And wrestling.
And we also like to drink beer.
While wrestling.
Well, not while wrestling, but while watching wrestling.
Yes.
Yeah. If you want to get into a conversation with Maniac and Chris Parrish, then you need to tune into the Sounds of Struggle live on Backbreaker Media.
Every Thursday.
It's when we hope to drop, but sometimes Mike Malowany doesn't do his job right.
Or we're too drunk to forget.
Yeah, that happens too.
Yeah.
He can bleep out the swear word, because we weren't supposed to do that.
Oh,
but
I'll try not to swear. I can't do it.
Yeah. Let's face it, the two of us, we're real.
And spectacular.
And we're a little bit of all right.
Yeah.
Well, so strugglicious.
That we are.
That was kind of the key. It's supposed to be a strugglicious.
Oh, sorry, I'm drunk.
Yeah. So, if you don't want to listen to us, then no, you're stupid, because we're entertaining. And if you want to listen to us, then come listen to us on Backbreaker Media.
Yeah. What he said.
Later, bitches.
Welcome to Double Down Wrestling Podcast with KJ, and we got Mike the Ref. And would you like to introduce yourself, young man?
Young man.
Handsome man.
I have a beard.
My favorite. Oh God.
This could be
one of my
tonight,
favorite
folks.
humans.
Hello, friends. After my much applauded debut on Quick Calls, I am back. I am Spencer Love from Win Column Sports. Don't forget to follow us at Win Column Sports CA on the Twitter machine. Myself personally at _. Talking is hard.
He's trying to plug himself. Not even 5 minutes into this podcast.
Put yourself over. Well, I was gonna ask, how did we meet, Mr. Love?
I got drunk. I got very, very drunk at PWA Night of Champions. I'd watched you wrestle previously to that at PWA, and you actually appeared on Over the Top Rope as my second ever official interview. And that was fun, and we got drunk.
It was lovely. It was so much fun.
It was a blast, and then you introduced me to Michael, the referee. His formal name. And here we are.
I was going to say.
It's like ever since you met me, it almost like opened up a fork in the road, and it's like, oh, who is Parrish?
Who is this?
Who is Mike the Ref?
Who is this? I have so many new friends. It's so wonderful. Thank you.
It's a great
Thank you for
time.
having me on the show.
It's always good. Okay, so one of my first notes I wrote down for this podcast was I had to bring up my favorite match in the entire world. Its anniversary was yesterday.
Aww.
So I had to bring up happy anniversary, guys. Happy
Sasha
anniversary. Sasha Banks versus Bayley at Brooklyn 1 was their anniversary yesterday, and I was all giddy yesterday because, man, did you see all those posts that everybody kept posting? And did you see the one Bayley put up? It was pretty, like, got tugged my heartstrings a little bit. I was like, oh,
I think
God.
she just wishes she could get that kind of booking back again today.
Bayley?
Yeah.
Did you read that
100%.
thing I read? Okay, I also wrote down a note about this, but Fansided DDT, they put up an article about Bayley and her character over the last, like, 2 years.
Yeah.
And it was actually very insightful.
I quite like.
You might
them,
have to read
be
it.
quite
It was
honest
really
with you. I
good,
haven't
yeah.
read it yet. Mike, I completely agree with your point. As far as anybody who's come up from NXT and been the victim of poor booking, it's Bayley.
It's almost like it
150%.
just like rolled down the hill as soon as Alexa showed up on Raw.
And it's not
Oh,
even that
gosh.
she's unpopular. It's just that think of what she could have been.
Yeah.
She's nowhere near what she potentially could have been. It's just it's the female John Cena.
Well,
To be
Well-
honest with you.
realistically, she could have been in that role, but right now she's stuck in a position, and I'm hearing reports today. I know we're supposed to be going over the review of last weekend.
This
but,
is technically a review.
but
A review of Bayley's career.
there's been interviews going around and some notes on Twitter that came up today stating the reason that Sasha has been buried a little bit at this point, and in turn Bayley's in that point, is the fact she says that Alexa's okay, but she doesn't really want to work with her.
With Bayley or Sasha?
With Sasha doesn't want to work with Alexa.
Well, I was
So-
watching that interview she did with Peter Rosenberg.
That's the one.
Yeah, and she said she just doesn't think there's anything left there to say. I mean, if you think about it, she won the title a year ago, and that was her last championship run, and it was 8 days.
Yeah.
So she hasn't been against Alexa or in the title picture / title matches really since then.
That's
She was
fine.
in Elimination Chamber, but that I don't count that.
But if you're going to be in title contention, you're going to have to go through Alexa right now. That's the problem.
well, technically no, Ronda.
I would 100%. Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, you
You
have
still
to
gotta
think,
go-
at some point before WrestleMania, they're gonna have to pull the trigger on Sasha Banks versus Ronda Rousey.
Yeah,
They're just
Ooh,
going
versus
to have
Ronda?
To. Yeah, 100%.
they're
Why
go-
wouldn't they?
in one
That's-
form or another, but I
bet
don't
you-
think it'll be singles.
I bet you see it at the Rumble.
I think out of the 4, Charlotte's going to get Ronda first. Unless they
I
go
don't
with a
think
whole
so. I think they're
storyline,
going
I
to
don't know.
use. I think they're going to use, and I hate to say this, they're going to use Sasha Banks. That's a hard name to say right now. As like
It's the beer.
as like the proverbial sacrificial lamb. They're going to use her to prove that
Sasha,
Ronda
though?
Rousey, to prove that Ronda Rousey is that dominant. Nobody on Monday Night Raw can beat her, and that's how you set up the challenge for Charlotte at WrestleMania.
I think, I don't know. She can make her look good, hell yeah.
100%.
But,
Sasha Banks is the best female wrestler on the roster.
Technically, yes. And then I would think if you're looking to get some sort of... Okay, on the technical side of the wrestling technique, okay, Sasha, definitely. But if you're trying to bring in some sort of... I don't want to say believability, but if she beats Bayley, I feel like that people might take... Because Bayley, I don't know, Bayley's got that whole, like, lovable
I don't
thing
think she's
going
as
on.
popular as Sasha
Oh,
Banks.
no, definitely not.
Absolutely not. And
No
I think
bias
if you
here.
really want to put Ronda over, put her over Sasha. By that point,
Yeah.
I think she will have turned by that point too.
personally,
To
I
be honest
Ronda?
with you. Sasha. I think you'll
I-
see them pull the trigger on that at Evolution. Give it a big moment. Have her challenge. I don't know where they would go from there. Maybe you somehow set up Sasha Bayley at WrestleMania. Maybe Bayley interview. I don't know. I'm not booking.
We're not-
I'm not the wizard known as
Yeah.
Road Dogg here.
we're gonna have
but-
to wait till the end. We're gonna have to wait till the end of the year before we can honestly figure out what's gonna happen at Mania. At this
Yep,
point.
but I will call
Oh,
that. I
definitely.
will call Sasha Banks versus Ronda Rousey at the Royal Rumble right here, right now.
So does Becky win her feud with Charlotte and then Charlotte comes back to Raw?
No.
Because I highly doubt they're going to send Ronda to SmackDown. Hell no.
No, but it's WrestleMania. You can do interbrands.
That's true. Champion.
Yeah,
possibly, but
perhaps.
But then why are they going to do that unless they want to bring in tag titles?
I don't know. I just think that you mentioned about Becky Lynch. I don't know why they would pull the trigger on her as a heel if they weren't going to use, if you weren't going to use Charlotte to put Becky over as a heel. I think that's sort of silly. I don't think Charlotte needs another dominant title reign. She's had a few, right? It's time for Becky Lynch to get a big win that was stolen from her. I think that's just going to put over her big win more.
No,
regardless of the
Okay.
fact that the alignment is messed right up.
Yeah, we're gonna
To
have
put
to.
that politely.
Well, that's good. So, okay, since we're talking about it already, let's talk about the results of SmackDown at SummerSlam. So, obviously, Becky didn't get her moment.
Oh, she
which
got
was-
her moment.
Well, she did, but
Yeah.
not the moment, like holding the gold moment that everybody kind of wanted.
I'd argue this was better if they had played it off right on SmackDown.
Let me just say, Carmella played the perfect in-between in that match.
She wrestled like a grand total of 47 seconds.
But with the moments that she had, though,
And it
playing Charlotte versus, like, against
It was
Becky,
excellent.
it was fantastic.
The finish to that match was excellent too.
Yeah, it was great.
Absolutely.
She played her role so well, and I will give Carmella props. She made him look good.
And even during the introductions, you could tell there was going to be a heel turn. You know, there's one subtle thing about it.
Becky's face.
No,
Oh,
not even that.
with that.
If you look at the outfits coming out,
Oh, that Becky had no pink?
everybody was commenting. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I was mentioning this on Twitter at the end of SummerSlam. I was going to mention it this week. Everybody else who was involved with that show for the women's division had something directly towards Jim the Anvil Neidhart in supporting Natalya, except for Becky.
See where I thought that was going, and the Anvil point changes my mind a bit. But where I thought that was going is that Charlotte was going to align with Carmella.
I don't think she would ever align with her. Maybe if
I
Charlotte
don't know
goes back
why
to heel.
she would. That was my initial reaction to it. I thought that it would put Becky over. See, I thought this was the big moment to put Becky over as a babyface. It was built for it. It was 100% built for it.
And this is kind of like goes back in turn to SmackDown, where like she could diss and whatever the crowd loves her. It's the same reason why Sasha turned face to begin with, because people realized her talent. They loved her for her talent, and that's why they cheered for her. So they made her face. Becky, it'll take a lot for her to turn heel.
Anybody got any
essentially.
cats for her to kill?
Becky?
She's gonna need to kill a
No,
cat
she's
or
gotta
something.
like kill a puppy or something.
Well, I don't even.
On SmackDown.
Yeah, on
Yeah,
Smack-
on SmackDown Live, kick a puppy into the audience.
They've got
So-
$1 billion. They don't care what you do anymore on there.
But-
Speaking of which, just a little quick introduction. At the end of the show, I got a special announcement about certain things that are going on here on the network in regards to this whole situation with Becky and the crowd and whatnot.
Oh,
Ooh.
Sorry.
Becky in the crowd.
Jenny from the block.
But
Yeah.
in my opinion, they're going to be stubborn enough to try and see this through.
They've got a bass backwards.
Yeah, they do. It's completely opposite of what it should be. Just for even reading over the storyline. If you didn't have the crowd as part of all the promos and all that, just read what's going on. Girl gets shot at title that she's always wanted back. Extra comes in, sneaks into title shot. Extra sneaks title away from Girl A. Girl A is pissed.
Yeah.
7 title reigns in 3 years. Are you kidding me? 7 title reigns.
How much do you need to put one person over?
She's going to be wrestling for another few years. They need to chill out.
Hopefully.
She's
Not
gonna
gonna
she's gonna get number 8 at Evolution. I'll tell you this right now.
So Becky wins and she
Trish
wins it
will be
again?
there.
But then why not put her against Trish? I don't know.
It's just it's very well established that Charlotte is dominant, and to this point, I still enjoy Charlotte as a wrestler. Don't get me
Oh,
wrong.
yeah,
but
yeah.
Number one, she's just better as a heel. Becky's just better as a face. I think that's the way God intended it to be. It's like I compared this going into. Sorry to interrupt you there, Mike.
It's all right. No, my apologies.
Going into this, I was talking to Morgan, and I said it was like it was like Steamboat and Flair. Like you never saw Ricky Steamboat as the heel in that matchup, and I don't understand. That's not to say, and not to I guess put under Becky Lynch, but she's not quite Ricky Steamboat yet, but she is that torrential babyface, even more so to my point than a guy like Sami Zayn would be.
Now,
But
in my opinion, there is a point where we haven't actually seen Becky Lynch have a chance to be a heel. Now, I'm not saying
the first days in NXT.
Yeah, that's what I brought up when she was with Sasha. So good. She was so good. Oh,
I mean on the
Love
main
it.
roster where you have
Yeah.
the different audience.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, the WWE crowd versus the NXT crowd are two totally different things. Now, if we can give this character a chance, which I think they honestly pulled the trigger at the wrong time, They should have waited. If they would have gave Charlotte a dirty victory over Becky at one point, then maybe she snaps, and maybe after she does something despicable, maybe the crowd will get behind the heel turn. But
everybody was so firmly behind Becky Lynch. Everybody, I shouldn't say is still firmly behind Becky Lynch. Like during that promo, and even to me, it looked like Becky felt awkward saying it, where she said like the fans never cheered me. There was no give Becky a chance.
And everybody's cheering.
I've seen that hashtag.
I was gonna say it's been up there since she lost the title.
It's I don't know. Like for me,
it's like she clearly didn't write her own promo.
I was gonna say, as far as the WWE writers' room goes, like it's frankly tone deaf.
Yeah,
it's just completely tone deaf. And even for me, you've got to give some leeway as far as it could develop. I keep bringing up Sami Zayn, sort of bring him up on a women's wrestling podcast, but he was someone else that I saw as someone who should never turn heel, and his heel turn worked out fantastically. So I do have the optimism there, but
not if you're
right
bringing
now.
up everything. Like the whole thing is that they're bringing up stuff that's Charlotte's biggest criticism for her to not be over as a face.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest reason. Like, they're bringing this stuff up, trying to get Becky to be booed, or wanting her to be booed, with the things that people don't like about Charlotte. Like, they legit don't like. So it's like, why are you doing that? Like,
more and more, and I completely disagree with the take, but I've viewed people saying that she's the female Roman Reigns.
Charlotte?
Yeah, and I don't think that's right, but I understand where it would come from on the people are going to get apathetic if this is the way it keeps going.
I don't think they're force feeding her as much as they did what they did with Roman again. But
it's despicable.
We're not even going to get into that here today.
Okay, my next question, just to move on. Where does Carmella go though from here? Like, where's she going? I don't see her winning the title again.
Bring back Ellsworth. When in doubt, bring
fire
back
him
Ellsworth.
again. Poor guy.
I think when it comes to the main title picture for the women's title on SmackDown, you're going to have a whole conglomerate of women in that second tier right now.
Yeah.
We haven't seen Asuka for a while. We know she's unhappy with her booking. We'll have to see what develops out of that against Charlotte. You have time right now with the Becky-Charlotte feud to figure something out. And even with Peyton Royce getting a victory this week on SmackDown over Naomi, who just appeared out of nowhere once again.
Feud started from the social medias.
Bad day in catering.
No, the parking meter
excuse
or
me.
whatever, the parking lot.
You know what? I don't care how it starts, but the fact that they might actually think about pushing somebody else.
Like Naomi or Peyton?
For Peyton.
Something I was very interested in when the Iconics debuted was them semi-aligning with Carmella.
I can see it happening.
That gets two birds proverbially stoned at the same time.
Kind of take Carmella out of a wrestling role for a little while and put her in with them
I
to
wouldn't
cause
even
some
say
shenanigans.
take her out of a wrestling role, but I do think I hate to go this way with it, but it buys some time. But like you could see it like Sasha and Bayley and Ember Moon versus the Riott Squad. At least it gives them something to do, and all of them are talented enough wrestlers that their wrestling can get them over with the crowd, and frankly, on the heel side, to properize my grammar, they've got the characters to at least get themselves over, especially playing off of each other. The Iconics haven't gotten over as well as I personally think they should have.
I think because people were way too excited to see them, and they're like, "Oh, we love them."
Well, no,
we're gonna cheer them,
Yeah.
What did they do with them when they brought them up? They let them win. They
like
helped
2 matches.
They helped distract, and then
they gave Asuka her second ever loss.
On their first night, second night?
Their first tag team match. I think it was like their third week or whatever.
But then after that, now it's just been one of those complete, total dead slides that...
Yeah. That's so... You bring back Carmella, who, despite what people say, like, she's got genuine heat.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You pair them with the Iconics, who are genuinely talented. People can argue about their wrestling. I'll disagree with them. I think they're good wrestlers. But their characters are absolutely fantastic.
Oh, they know their characters, and that's what makes them stand out.
Peyton was trained by Lance Storm, and Storm endorses her big time. So she's got the wrestling.
Doesn't endorse
character.
anybody.
Yeah,
right?
there's very few that he'll endorse, and those that he does actually do something with it. So
You're not wrong.
I don't know. I think that'd be Carmella with the Iconics. Who have you got on the babyface side? You've got Naomi. You've got Asuka.
I guess technically Charlotte.
And you're probably going to have Nikki Cross coming up soon as a face role.
Well, and is Brie technically on SmackDown now, or is she just someone that's going to do a one-off and then
I think
disappear
that
for a
this is.
year?
I think that this is going to be a Kane role for Brie.
Just kind of coming in and out.
Yeah, I think this is a Team Hell No reunion all over again.
That's like why I was so confused to see them on Raw. Like the twins. Like, why?
Well,
why?
The thing is, a
I don't get
lot of people don't realize that not only was Natalya helping Rousey train, but the Bellas were there too. Not as much, but
you know what? The thing is there's no reason for them to be there in storyline. Like,
oh god, no.
How many casual fans do you think are sitting there reading? Oh, the Bellas helped train Ronda Rousey. Absolutely none.
No, you know why they're there, right?
Probably 15 people.
Total Bellas got renewed.
Oh, hooray!
Gross.
There you go. There's your reason why they're around.
The shitty thing is, they haven't even mentioned that. At the very least,
They
they
won't,
mentioned
yeah.
that.
They're just there.
At the very least, then they mentioned that, and I'm like, okay, they're there for a reason. It was awkward. Sorry to keep going here, but like, it was awkward to see them both in the ring when Ronda Rousey won. You know what? I think that even took a lot.
Like,
I'm gonna sort of tread lightly here because I can't.
I'll call it for you right now.
Okay, go.
This moment that they had in the ring with Rousey, got tarnished just as much as Rousey's moment tarnished Asuka's win at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, don't disagree. But where I was going with that is like, I feel like, you know, if Ronda Rousey and Natalya are really as close as they portray on screen, to go back to the week before on Raw, I thought Ronda Rousey's promo prior to it being sort of bastardized about the Anvil was fantastic.
Absolutely.
And it seemed like it was completely genuine. Natalya obviously had the night off. At SummerSlam, I feel like that took a bit away from their moment, you know? I feel like having Natalya in the ring at that point was completely appropriate.
Yeah, I don't like that. I kept waiting for something to happen and waiting and waiting, and I'm like, why are they there? Why?
Yep.
Why? Why do they need to be there?
You know what?
I just don't get it.
If the rumored match, like what
No,
I've heard,
it's been announced.
Rousey versus Bella?
Yeah, Nikki.
Oh, it's been yeah.
So is she on Raw then, Nikki, or is she just doing this for the sake of doing it?
She's like John Cena. She goes wherever the hell she wants.
Well, you know what? And they're the two most. I understand why they would do it. They're the two most popular mainstream,
most marketable.
Mainstream.
Yeah, but I hate to say it, but if you're going to do that, then use that moment to beat the shit out of Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, then at least get
You've
that
got
exposure.
a month and a half or 2 months to go until the pay-per-view.
Yep.
You starting to build now is smart. It's not even smart. It's necessary. And it was awkward to have them there.
I will say this, though. Regardless of how awkward it was to have him at SummerSlam, Brie's right hand to The Miz was absolutely spectacular as far as I was concerned.
Sick.
It was beautiful.
She's always been, out of the two, she's always been my favorite.
Like, I typically don't pop at a female punching a male because it looks usually pretty weak.
Yeah.
That one did not look weak.
I love the fact that this feud has been built on punching someone in the face.
It's so simple.
It really is. Daniel Bryan, what was like his first promo back? He says, I want to punch The Miz in the face. And he punched The Miz in the face. And then The Miz, in his first like exclusive quote-unquote video with the WWE Network, said, I've got the hardest punch in WWE, which is fantastic. The Miz is the man. And now, Brie punches The Miz in the face. I
love
guarantee this match is going to end with Maryse punching someone in the face.
Maryse has to now. She's
She
the only one that
really does.
hasn't.
Exactly.
She has to. I'll be very disappointed if that beautiful French Canadian doesn't pop someone in the mouth.
And you notice how the SummerSlam match ended.
Yeah.
The
Knuckles
thing,
to the
yeah.
face.
It was exactly. It's great.
Absolutely.
It's just great. Sometimes WWE does do things right.
Sometimes.
Well, no, that's when you leave it in.
Sometimes.
I got a feeling that one was left in the talent's hands a little bit more than.
Just let them go.
Just
let them go.
Just let them be.
Let them do their thing. I mean, how can you
what,
not
man?
trust the Miz at this point?
Let me have a little faith in them, okay?
No.
No way.
No, you're not
no.
going to get that. You're really not.
Bitter and contemptuous.
Oh, God. Okay, we've already just a little bit. Thank you. So we already talked about Ronda's little celebration on Raw, but can we just talk about how weird it was? Like, did anybody just find it weird?
The
The
makeup
whole
sucked.
situation?
No. Honestly, sorry, I'm the old guy of the group here.
Yeah.
I went back and watching this match, I simply looked back at WrestleMania 17, China versus Ivory.
Okay.
Ivory was built up as the right to censor, this super duper women's champion. China was supposed to have a broken neck and all these issues. She squashed her at the biggest stage of all.
Can we just talk about the fact that, when I say WWE does things right.
Thank you.
They didn't just write China off with, she broke her foot. She broke her neck and then wrestled a championship match.
Now this is
that's not
dun.
that's not half-assing it whatsoever.
That's in 2000. What WrestleMania 17 would have been
15 years ago.
1999.
I don't
Wait,
know.
what?
No, 2001. Sorry,
I'm
there
like,
we
wait,
go.
which year are we talking about?
that would have been 2001, and people didn't know what concussions really were. So
I just thought the whole thing was awkward. But before we get into it, can
Absolutely.
we just talk about the screen stills that people took of Bayley, Ember, and Sasha's face when Ronda made her entrance? Please tell me you saw
I have
them.
not.
I have not.
Okay, they were literally standing there, looked so unimpressed to be there. All three of them had the same look on their face. I just died.
Oh, on Raw?
Yeah, on Raw.
Oh, okay.
I
You were
was
talking about
laughing
SummerSlam,
so
yeah.
hard.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
It was.
the Raw presentation, yeah,
it was pretty funny. It was
For-
pretty funny. They were just I don't know if they were total kayfabing it or storylining it because they literally just lost a match 5 minutes before that.
Now-
But it was hilarious. I
Hey
think it
guys,
was funny.
stay out here for this one.
Can
Yeah,
I-
basically. You just got your ass kicked. Go out there and celebrate Ronda.
Can
We need you to no-sell now.
I
Yeah.
ask one simple question about that whole segment?
Yeah.
What the hell's the point of it?
Okay, that's what I was saying, is what was the point of it? Because I saw a thing on Twitter, and someone was saying they would have never made the guys do this for Roman winning. And my biggest criticism for the whole segment was Ronda is a face. They are making the whole, celebration and make everybody come out there and applaud Ronda's
Yep.
thing. But, it would make sense if she was a heel. Charlotte did it, and Alexa did this
Yep.
kind of celebration. Ronda is a face!
The
I
o-
don't get it.
The only thing that happened here as a result of anything that happened during this segment is Kurt Angle got put on suspension or holidays, quote unquote.
Rumor has it that's the comeback for a full-time return.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens with that.
Interesting. But yeah, no, I just thought the
versus
whole
Riott.
segment was weird. I'm like, what was the point of having all the girls out there to celebrate Ronda? And I'm air quoting celebrating.
I think they were gonna. It should be setting up a Evolution something out of that, and it should have
Yep.
set up the next feud somehow.
You know what's
Somebody
gonna
should have
suck?
jumped.
You know what's really gonna suck when they set up Ronda versus Nikki on Total Divas. Or Total
Ew, is
Bellas.
that happening?
No. But
No, it's
Ew.
great. It's great because I don't watch that. Ugh.
Yeah, there wasn't really a point to it. I think what the overall intention of it was for them to prove Ronda is still a woman of the people, putting over she did put over everyone on the roster.
That's true, she
Number
did,
one,
yeah.
one thing that I did dislike is the official WWE replay cut out the whole portion where she put over Sasha and Bayley.
That I wrote that down. That I was gonna say. Why do you guys think they did that? Either that, or they're doing something about the 4 horsewomen. That's the only thing I can think.
Or maybe they're just trying to focus on the 2 points and don't want the, how do I put this? Because of the reaction from Sasha and Bayley earlier, they may not want to
Associate them with that segment. Yeah.
Well, even when Ronda said it and they looked at each other, they kind of almost no-sold it too. They had no reaction. They just looked at each other, smiled a little, and then carried on with their life. You
I
know?
think they were supposed to be mistrusting after what Stephanie McMahon said. I think it was to sell McMahon's promo.
Yeah.
There was just a whole lot of indifference with that. That was basically something for the media to have. That's all that
It was a stupid
was.
segment. You know what, though? And just to sidetrack here before you get on to your next point, Stephanie McMahon is still one of, if not the best promo in WWE.
But my question is, are they going to have her involved in that match? Is she going to be, a special guest ref?
She'll be out there somewhere.
Because why would they have Ronda beat the crap out of her again if she's not going to wrestle
Another
her
reason to be
anymore?
off for 2 months?
They're trying to build her
Maybe.
as the next Stone Cold. I think it's
But she's
easy-
already
They're-
done that a few times.
Yeah,
I don't
they're-
see why
no,
they
How
need
many
to.
times did Stone Cold kick Vince's ass?
No. The next Roddy Piper.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes more sense.
Yeah, but Roddy Piper was
No, Roddy
career-
Piper.
yeah,
Roddy
Roddy
Piper was a
Piper-
guy that did things by his own rules. He didn't care what anybody else said.
Would you ever call Roddy Piper a face until his
Yeah.
sort of later years?
WrestleMania 5, 6, 7. Bad News Allen versus Roddy Piper, WrestleMania
Okay,
6.
There we go. 6 I'll give you. Still though.
Except
you know
for the
what?
fact
I would first and foremost see Roddy Piper as a heel.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think they're trying. I think I would say they're trying to build her into the amalgamation of Roddy Piper and Stone Cold.
Yeah.
She is every chance she gets, she kicks Steph's ass just the same way that Stone Cold. Stone Cold went and kicked Vince's ass in a hospital bed. Like, he kicked his ass every chance
Oh, that's
he
true.
got.
I love that, yeah.
Like, I would love to see Ronda Rousey kick Steph's ass
Yep.
in a grocery store.
Oh my gosh!
But
Like Steph's like, who's throwing oranges at me? All of a sudden, Ronda hops over and puts her in an
Suplex into, like, the
armbar.
organic section.
Here's the difference. When you have Mr. McMahon in the way, you have Booker T in the way for the grocery store bit. They were always throwing something in the way of Stone Cold achieving his goal. She got her goal. She got her title.
Yeah, I was
You
gonna
know
say,
what?
and she
And-
won at Mania.
And Stone Cold was never champion.
Now if she comes out
Right?
next week and
Stone
says
Cold never won the WWE Championship. He never achieved his goal.
no, but they were trying to provide obstacles for him to get the title.
I
at that time.
don't think that they're trying as hard on this one for her first championship, because they've got Evolution to sell.
Oh yeah,
If they
that's-
had the time to build it, I think they would have waited until WrestleMania to pull the trigger. But I think having your top draw as the champion going into WrestleMania facing the other top draw, quote unquote, in Nikki Bella.
I'd rather see her versus Charlotte. I'd rather see
Yeah,
that right now.
But I know my cousin watches Total Bellas. I know that she will likely buy
For
the
mainstream,
pay-per-view.
oh yeah, definitely. People
Right.
would probably watch it
And
if
I
they
hate
saw
to say
it.
it,
Yeah.
but like we are in the minority as far as what WWE is advertising to, as
This
people who
year?
love wrestling,
Yeah,
Um,
you're not wrong. WWE, if this was NXT, it'd be a different story.
right?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
so just to give it a little bit of context here, stock price when CM Punk dropped his pipe bomb was like $9, and
Okay.
stock right now is like $90
Oh yeah.
with
Okay.
Roman Reigns as Ronda Rousey as champ,
Yeah.
and Brock Lesnar as champ.
I bought
I'd
stock.
rather have
I bought stock at
Brock
WWE when it was $6.30,
Right?
like when it first came out.
Why did I buy the beer?
Yeah, Mike.
I was gonna get the no-name beer,
But sorry to go. I would love to buy a no-name beer like the Superstore Yellow No Name, but that's
No,
that's
we
a
need to
different
get
topic
a
for
Stone
different day.
Cold IPA or whatever it
I
is
would
one
love
day.
it.
One day, that was what we're gonna drink on this.
Hey,
We'll
you're the-
have like a tasting.
You're,
Yeah.
tasting
you're the
episode.
one going to Chicago, so you'll be in the States
Very
today.
excited.
Yeah.
I'm out of here Monday. But to go back to it, I think there's because of Evolution, you had to put the title on your top draw.
Your main draw.
Ronda
yeah.
Rousey. So one of the things I found fascinating, actually, so about a week ago, WWE put out that number of Instagram followers, as stupid as it sounds.
Yeah.
John Cena was the top
Man.
full-on WWE built, born, bred superstar at 6 million. I think Triple H was at
I think
5
he's at 10
million.
now, actually. Seen that. They just put a thing up.
Ronda Rousey was at like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
Like over every member of the WWE, whether that be Steph, Vince, the WWE account.
Yeah, I think
Like-
the next woman is Paige, actually, that has the next
And she's at
highest.
4.
I think she's...
No, it's around
Sasha's
4.
at 4,
I'll
so she's
pull
probably
the
at
receipt.
5.
I'll pull the receipt on that one. I think it's smart.
It's
I
a
just
smart
really
marketing
think it is.
decision.
Ronda Rousey, she will likely, like, could we see Nikki Bella align with Stephanie McMahon again at Evolution?
Totally.
She's done it before.
Totally.
Could she do it again?
Yep. They just need to turn Nikki heel or something. I don't know.
Well,
And get her out of there.
that won't be hard to do.
No.
Well, no.
When it comes to Nikki, you have her align with Stephanie,
Yeah.
steal the title, and then they go all the way to
If you
Mania
wanna
and have
turn-
the
If
rematch.
you want to turn somebody heel, you align them with Steph.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you talk
instant,
about-
like,
you talk
taste
about,
in your
you
mouth.
talk about the authority in Triple H, like, nah, Steph was the reason that got over.
Oh, hands down.
150%.
Well, you look at when
Like I
Triple H
said,
still makes his appearances now. He's so over, and people love him.
Triple H is a face in NXT.
Yeah.
Well, look at that promo at Raw on Monday.
That was so
Yeah,
goddamn
NXT.
pointless. Excuse my language. That was so.
You know what?
All he did was put over NXT,
that-
basically, right?
That
It
sold.
was so pointless.
That sold a pay-per-view to a bunch of people that aren't us. I guarantee it right now.
You know what? I don't think they would. They wouldn't have done poorly with that being what it was. Did they ever pull Rusev out for the Greatest Royal Rumble and say, I'm going to take down The Undertaker? The only promotion that match got was Chris Jericho. For the day he was announced for the match, he called himself the King of the Casket match. Which, just to put Jericho over again, he said he was undefeated in casket matches. He's never wrestled a casket match.
Oh, then he's undefeated then.
Yeah, he's the man.
Yeah.
Well,
he's undefeated.
It's the Goldberg syndrome.
It's fantastic. Steph's the shit, just to close that one out.
Pretty much.
That's... I had to... Okay, so another match that happened on SmackDown was they did the mixed tag again with Zelina and Andrade and Rusev and Lana. Okay, let me just say, I was never really the biggest fan of Andrade and Zelina in NXT. Like, I was kind of on the fence. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about it. They've sold it to me in the last, month with this whole feud, where I'm like, they are such a good team. Yep. And I really hope that when they finally put Zelina in the actual women's division, maybe eventually vying for a title, I hope they don't, split them up. Mm-hmm. I hope they still, work together, because they're business partners or whatever they are. I love them. I find them so entertaining. I just love them. I don't know.
You know what? I put over Steph as a promo. Zelina Vega is one of the best promos in WWE.
She just, I love it. And I love how he comes out for her matches, too. I like that they do that. Because half the time, they let the girl go out by herself, and I'm like, what kind of business associate is that?
Andrade was an absolute failure in WWE as far as I'm concerned.
In NXT.
In anything until... Not anything. In his NXT WWE run until Zelina came around. A complete
I think it complete... Because it brought attention. Because you see this girl that's kind of a little sassy on the outside, a little small, and all of a sudden she's running up on the apron doing a Hurricane Rana or whatever. You're like, holy crap, you just stole the show, and then Andrade does something.
Rana is nuts.
Ugh.
Well, the big thing with Andrade is the fact that up until his time with NXT, he always wrestled under a mask. Yep. So he let his actions do the talking, and then when Vince said, "Oh, you got a beautiful face, let's take it out of the mask," then he didn't know how to emote well enough to grab the WWE Universe.
Something that I absolutely love is in his entrance when he rips the mask off. I guarantee it has absolutely no meaning to a lot of people, but I guarantee in Mexico people are furious at him.
Oh, they're
absolutely furious every time he does it. I love it. Absolutely love it. Speaking of, I cannot wait. So rumor has it on this one. And then we'll get back to Zelina. I keep hijacking this with great
I love Andrade.
Great news.
I love him.
Apparently, Mysterio is set to return to WWE pretty shortly after All In, which is great. Because that means he's not missing All In. And there is absolutely no way to me that WWE doesn't pull the trigger on Mysterio on this Survivor Series.
Oh, absolutely.
Ooh.
It's just dumb not to have that be his first feud.
Yeah,
how else do you bring Rey Mysterio back? Who eliminated him from the Rumble?
Throw him right into a thing from AJ, or with AJ.
Was it Nakamura?
I think
you
so.
could maybe have him come back over a U.S. title feud.
With Mysterio, it's same thing we're talking about with the Rousey-Bella matchup here. It's marketing.
Yeah.
Well, and Rey's established him multiple times in WWE, though.
Remember where Survivor Series is this year? It's in L.A.
Oh, is it?
Right by the border.
Yeah, law.
Oh.
So, you got all your Mexicans come in. You got that match. It's going to drive crowds in there big time.
Yeah.
Won't be as big as what Rogers Center will be like next year, but I digress.
Lana still makes me cringe, though. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Really?
She makes me cringe.
You know what?
Every time.
Biggest issue I've got, number one here. Pick an accent. I don't care what it is.
Yeah, why does she keep going back and forth? Everybody knows it's fake.
Yeah, I don't know. And even if people know it's fake, everybody knew Kofi Kingston's was fake. But as soon as he dropped the accent, regardless of the fact
nobody gave a crap.
Well, as soon as he dropped the accent, he dropped the accent. He didn't fluctuate between it or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think he only uses it. I only think she uses it now when she talks about Rusev Crush. Because you just can't say that without,
One of the last promos she did, she was going back and forth. I'm like, oh, God, girl.
Maybe it's one of those when you get a temper.
When she speaks full Russian, 100%.
Yeah, just go for it, yeah.
But when she's speaking, the accent, no. Or just full on do the accent, excuse me.
One or the other.
even if you get to the point, like one of my favorite promos of all time is when DX interrupted Kofi Kingston. Wait a minute.
Where's your accent?
Where's your Jamaican?
I love it. That's exactly what I need somebody to call her out. And
Right?
why hasn't Zelina called her out yet? Come on, girl.
She's waiting
Come
for something
on.
big. You know what? This is the first feud that I've really watched develop initially over social media that I've enjoyed watching develop over social media. For the most part, number one, I hate the phrase social media when it's brought up.
Yeah.
Say this was brought up on Twitter. Like, fuck.
It's like, stop
Excuse
it.
the language.
Yeah, come on.
It's just, it's so frustrating. It's like, this guy was trolling this person, and now they're angry, and they're going to take it on the wrestling ring. Like, if this was just a solution for life, I would enjoy it that much more.
Well, simply put, why would you do it before when you're leading up to a SummerSlam kickoff show match? Maybe wait until after, and now maybe they can develop it into something more.
Yep. I was really worried about Zelina in that match. When
In SummerSlam?
Yeah, when she almost missed the ropes for the pin. Like Dana Brooke syndrome all over again. That was, number one, fantastic match. Thoroughly enjoyed that match. Second comment, just to go back to the SummerSlam pre-show here. Very upset that all three matches ended in a roll-up. Third, like, it worried me so much when that happened with Zelina. Like, she missed the ropes the first time she went for it because she aimed for the second ropes, which to me is just an odd decision, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, that is, at least for myself, the number one reason I can't take Dana Brooke seriously. Is like,
because of those kind of things, yeah.
That's the number one. Again, you're a wrestler. You've watched wrestling much longer than I have. You guys know what you're doing much more than I do. But that seems like day one. Like, hey, if you're going to put your feet on the ropes, like, just, make sure you're close enough.
Well, it's like anything, right? She might have just got a little too excited. I don't know, but who knows?
It was bad.
I don't know.
It was really, really bad.
And that would be why you're on a kickoff show.
I still love her.
Oh, absolutely. Every great wrestler can have a bad spot once in a while.
Oh, 100%. Will Ospreay when he took that...
oh, God.
Yeah.
I know exactly. I'm seeing it right now. I can see it right now. Oh.
Yeah.
Scarred. Again.
Yeah. Or Sasha's suicide dive where her feet got
The one
caught.
where she just did the other night was so good.
Yep.
Like,
she's excellent. She's excellent.
I did not.
She's really not.
I did not expect it. Okay, that's like one thing I had to bring up is what the hell are they doing with all these matches against the Riott Squad? Because I saw a thing that made a good point. Sorry, about why they keep doing this is because it goes along with Bayley and Sasha's "we're going to basically what's the thing, they take over the world or something. They always keep saying we're going to take over the world together.
Yeah.
And it's going to, like, make them realize, like, oh, we're really good. But I'm like, I think they already realized that they're really good together. So I don't know why they need to beat the Riott Squad to realize that. But Sasha keeps eating the pin in the last, like, 3 matches they've had. So I don't know what they're doing with this.
I have one word for it.
Okay.
Filler.
Well, I mean...
That's all these matchups like this is turning into. You want to keep them on
they're
TV,
really good matches. Like, the match they had on Monday...
Absolutely.
...was so good. So good.
Ruby Riott's probably the most underrated female on that roster.
And the biggest reason is because she's in a group and she's a heel.
No,
if she was a face right now, I feel like people would recognize her skill, but I see her skill and she's so good. But because she's a heel and she has 2 other girls with her, it kind of overshadows it a little.
Yeah,
no, I think it's more the fact that she's so new that they don't really want to push her into a main title picture right now or a higher feud than what she's having.
Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's Championship right before WrestleMania. They obviously that's crazy.
On a build-up show to Mania on SmackDown.
But they got like 20 minutes.
You're not gonna have a position where you're gonna have a title change 2 weeks before Mania to screw up that match.
Not, but you're not. You can't say they're not putting a person in that position because WWE sees nothing in them. It's the same thing. Like I hate to say it about Rusev as well, but that's like the same thing. You can't say Rusev's a failure. He's in all likelihood my favorite wrestler.
He's a great
at
wrestler,
the time.
yeah.
But not everyone is going to be the top person for an extended period of time. Like, there's a lot more Christians than there are Edge. You know what I mean?
That's a very good quote, right?
Yeah,
there.
and then that's nothing against. I mean, I love Christian. I love Sami
Yeah.
Zayn, but Sami Zayn is the second person in Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I hate to say it, but that may be where we sort of see her.
As Ruby. I
Yeah.
think the only way that she's ever going to do this is when she finally gets a title run.
Yep.
Is when she finally breaks through.
I think she should.
And a solo title
sooner
run,
rather-
not a Riott Squad title run.
See, I don't know. If they keep her as heel, keep her with the girls. Someone's got to turn on somebody at some point, and I don't see her being the one to turn because she's essentially been the leader, right? So I see the other two turning on her, and Ruby turns face.
I think they'll kick someone out first.
I
I think it'll
Really?
be... Yeah.
So you think they're going to kick, like, Ruby
I think
out,
Liv
or-
Morgan... I think they'll kick Liv Morgan out. Liv Morgan
I don't
would
think
be
she'll be able to survive by herself.
I
If
think-
I'm honest.
You know what? I didn't think Mandy Rose would be able to survive by herself.
Well, I don't call her what
No.
she's doing right now surviving.
Well,
Love her.
She's
Love
getting,
her,
She's getting
but,
the
you
same
know.
amount of screen time as Asuka.
Actually, probably more screen time for Asuka right now. Asuka needs to start making her slow entrance to the ring or something.
honestly, I could see the Riott Squad going the same way as Absolution did. Not because of the injury, but more just all three of them just going their separate ways because they're such different personalities.
Split them up in the next
Okay,
season.
absolutely.
under-
That's a very different circumstance is why they split up.
Understood, but they were different personalities, so it's a lot easier to break them up. And basically, you can no-sell it and just start having singles matches with these ladies. And then all of a sudden, everybody finally realized, oh, they're not together anymore.
I hate the idea of that because I like a satisfying conclusion to a storyline.
Agreed, but
I think that's just the best way I can put it for me. Like, I actually wrote, so the week after, just to put myself over again, I wrote an article the week after those two debuted, and what I sort of saw happening with it was, like, number one, I thought Paige was going to be Asuka's first real feud on the main roster. It would have been an absolute money match.
Mhm.
I thought that they could have been, like, you know, if you were to have cross-branded this sort of second women's revolution, or whatever you want to call it, where it's sort of the, like, they are the alternative to your Sasha and your Bayley and your Charlotte and that sort of stuff. It would have been really, really cool to see where those two feuds would have, or those two, factions would have gone. Eventually, where I would have saw it going was Paige and Ruby Riott with Ruby Riott getting put over at Mania. Maybe it's a pre-show.
Those two would have been a good tag team.
They would have been a great tag team, but they would have been a better feud.
That's true. But I'm just
Like,
thinking right now, I'm like, those
Absolution versus the Riott Squad. Like, even if you tell me that wouldn't be a great way to start a Mania. Hell, you talk about a kickoff match being a shitty thing. If you got a kickoff match at WrestleMania, you were one of the top 25 wrestlers as deemed by the biggest wrestling promotion in the world
Yeah.
as worthy of being on WrestleMania. Is it worse than being on the main card? Hell yeah. You can't deny that, but
if it's the reason people come in early to stay for the show.
Exactly. I hated it, but that's the reason they put that mixed tag match on first. People wanted to see that the most on the pre-show.
Bring Rusev in. People, Rusev.
Yep.
We got to be there early.
And then as soon as that match is done, you go pick up your merch out there and spend more money.
Exactly.
There you go,
You're
right?
there now. You can't leave.
Okay, the only thing we haven't talked about was NXT. What do you think?
Love it.
You love that she won?
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I will come out right now and say, like, I'm in the vocal minority. Not even the vocal minority here. I don't like Shayna Baszler. I really don't.
I think she's a good wrestler, but as like a character, I don't know. She doesn't do much for me right now.
You can tell that Shayna Baszler learned to wrestle from Triple H.
Shayna? Really?
Yeah, I think that she has a very Triple H, like, you need to have a 40-minute tell a story match that isn't always very good.
That very well could also be the areas that she worked in prior to coming in.
Because she did indies for a few years before she got up.
She went through that Shimmer Rise, California build up there, those territories down that way. And a lot of that is built on storytelling and essentially the WWE model.
Yeah, you make a fair point, but at the same time, there's a lot of women who have gone through there. Like, you know, you talk about Chelsea Green, you talk about any of those. I wouldn't say they wrestle 40-minute. I'm not saying they're incapable of it. That's a poor way to start that off. But for the most part, when I think of their matches, they aren't sort of that Triple H. You don't have to take 40 minutes to tell a story.
No.
You really don't. And that I know it wasn't a 40-minute match, but I don't know. I think that Shayna needed more time in that match. I think
Okay.
that's all there is.
It was too short for her to get what she wanted
and
to do.
I still think it was a great match. This is 100% me trying to put Kairi Sane over. She's one of my favorite wrestlers in the world, regardless of gender. She's incredibly good.
I actually flipped on this match when it came to the finish and how it ended based on a promo that came out after.
Mm-hmm.
My initial just watching the video of the match, because to be honest, I watched it this afternoon prior to coming here. And
The promo or the match?
the match.
Oh.
I watched both.
Oh, okay.
But I watched them in order. So I watched the match first,
Yeah.
and that finish I hated.
Okay.
Like, if the referee would have counted a little bit faster there, it might have been a little more believable. But
That's fair.
the Bret Hart, Roddy Piper sleeper pin there, a la WrestleMania 8, for that slow of a count, Baszler, there's no reason why Baszler realistically shouldn't have kicked out of that.
No, and that's fair. I think if you're going to go with how fast the ref counted as hating the finish, that's an absolutely fair point. I think there was no other finish you could have done as far as Shayna losing the title by taking a pin.
I'm sorry, an Earl Hebner count is not what you need in that position
No.
there. Now,
Like,
however,
she's winning the title, like, yeah, let's do this, you know what I mean? Like, not like she's gonna kick out, for God's sake, she's gonna kick, oh, okay, she won. Well,
But
congratulations.
they played it up perfectly.
Okay.
With the promo that happened after,
Yeah, it was good.
on NXT, Baszler came out and basically said, Sane didn't win this, I lost it. And that is exactly the way you need to play that up, because
Heel.
she made a mistake.
Yep.
And if she plays it as she made a mistake, rather than getting beat...
Rather than, like, Kairi Sane being better.
Yeah,
She wasn't better.
exactly.
I bested myself, essentially.
I screwed up.
Yeah.
That's basically what it came down to. And
You can do that both ways, though. That's not just a heel promo.
either way...
Seth Rollins did the same thing when he lost the IC to Dolph Ziggler.
But to lose it that way, you basically have to come out and say, look, I screwed up. Yeah. If you're the bigger woman and you're not kicking out of that pin like that,
exactly,
you got to say, look, you made a mistake.
I don't see a heel as being the bigger woman.
Oh.
That's where I come from on that. I think, like, if she would have come out, as slow as the count was, she comes out and she says the ref counted fast.
Yeah,
Kairi Sane pulled the tights.
Then everybody would have laughed at her.
I don't think that's true. You know what? For everything that I don't like about Shayna Baszler, she's a great character. For me, convincing promo. I don't understand where people say that that's her biggest weakness. I think that for me, it's completely flipped. I think that once Shayna Baszler can wrestle like a fast-paced, aggressive match, like for me, hell yeah, man, that's the Shayna Baszler I want to see. Like Samoa Joe, despite their SummerSlam match, going back to this, he can wrestle a quick match.
Oh,
he
yeah.
can tell a story in a 5-10 minute match. Shayna Baszler can't yet. And I want to emphasize that yet, because she will. I don't like her now.
Well, and I think also in the fact that I feel like there's kind of a drop-off right now with the NXT women. Like, you have the women that are fighting for the title. Mm-hmm. Like, you have... I don't know if you technically can call Candice being up there, but in terms of talent, overall package, I think she's, should be up there.
Yep.
But there's kind of a drop-off right now.
Like right now, you're looking at a Lacey Evans probably as your
as the
biggest
next kind
contender.
of... And, like, I guess they're kind of building up Bianca to get up there, but she's still... I don't think she's up there yet.
I don't know.
So it's like, who's going to fight for the title after this? Like, there's really nobody. So until they bring Shayna to the main roster, I think that's when she'll finally shine in the ring.
She'll get a rematch.
Well, yeah.
And I don't know who's all been signed out of the Mae Young Classic yet, but a lot of them made up.
Well, a few of them got signed technically beforehand, I think,
yep,
and then got put into it.
I'm sure there's still going to be more that come out of it with WWE contracts.
Yeah.
Like Deonna Purrazzo wrestled her first match.
Well, and she got signed, yeah.
No, I know, but like you don't think that she's going to be built up into a credible contender in the next
Oh, she'll probably
months.
be up there.
Nikki Cross still technically there. Don't know why. She'll be up soon, but Lacey Evans, I think right now you could build her up into a credible contender by the time of the next takeover. I don't see any reason you wouldn't be able to.
I still say the next takeover is going to be the rematch.
Yep.
I think it's going to be that
definitely, yeah.
because what's next Takeover?
Well, no, that's
know
Survivor
offhand.
Series.
War Games.
Oh, is it?
War Games.
So why not have the cage down and have that match prior to?
But then who fights for the NXT Women's title at Evolution?
Mae Young Classic
Same
winner?
match?
May-
Add some
No,
girls?
the Mae Young
or-
Classic winner is the same night.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
Maybe just have a different.
The Mae Young Classic and the bank winner. There we go. Have them cash in.
No, this is where you. This is where you.
Hey, you won tonight.
Nice.
You're going to be in the NXT Championship. Congratulations, Tony.
This is maybe where you have the Lacey Evans Kairi Sane match,
And Shayna screws them.
and Shayna screws it up or whatnot.
Just make it a triple threat. I don't know.
I just don't see Lacey getting the title.
Oh,
I'm
not
saying
yet.
where-
Not yet. Definitely not
like,
yet.
To me, I'm in the exact same boat, but I don't think Kairi Sane's going to lose the championship on her first title defense.
That's
Oh,
why.
yeah.
That's why I say Lacey Evans might be your best bet right now.
Yeah. Or
She's a great
Or
heel.
Bianca Belair. Because for me,
Just throw all the women in there.
you know what? No, for me, I think Bianca's someone who's going to develop very, very quickly. So you've got two ways to go with her. You either have her challenge for a championship early and bump her up sooner rather than later, or she's your next heel champion and give Kairi Sane a good long reign.
I'd say
Yeah,
give
yeah.
it.
That's
out of
that's
the,
for me. Like,
Because there's no like clear cut challenger
no,
after
there
that.
really
yeah.
isn't. And I think that Bianca Belair is talented as all hell. Hell, you bring her up to the main roster, and that hair whip itself is going to get her over with the. It will.
I always
How
think
many-
of when
how-
she hit Becky with that at Rumble.
was
Oh,
vicious.
was it Rumble? No.
No, it was
No,
the,
WrestleMania.
Yeah, pre-show.
So good. And the reactions of the girl, oh god.
I think it would be
Love her.
absolutely like you could bring her up and you could cover. Maybe she comes in with a manager. Maybe she comes in with something along those lines. But she's someone who could be a star on the main roster today, just based on that. To be honest with you, her character work and that hair whip. If Enzo Amore could get over, she can get over.
I think she's already like close to it.
Right?
Yeah.
So you could either bring her up real soon, or you give her a good long championship reign that I think would probably be last until not the upcoming takeover, the next one.
Which
She wouldn't win it in this point, but that would be like, I would say, a year and a half in NXT.
I'd say the next takeover following War Games is takeover. Where's the Rumble next year? Philadelphia,
No,
Arizona.
Arizona.
Yeah, because I was
So it'll be
looking at tickets to go.
takeover Phoenix.
Yeah.
So I'll be the next takeover. So quite possibly could be there.
Yeah.
Because I don't see Shayna not being on the main roster within the next 3 months.
I was shocked she didn't debut.
Nobody did
over-
though. Hey?
I was very,
Yeah.
very surprised with that.
But they kind of did that around Mania time, where they waited like a week, and then like the second week after, they kind of
Yeah,
started
and they
bringing
did
people
terrible
in.
with every one of those debuts. Andrade debuted terribly. Sanity debuted terribly.
Well, I think
Sanity
should've-
didn't even debut, did
Sanity should have debuted in a very similar manner to the way that Gallows and Anderson debuted.
Well, and I think Shayna's really the only one that's, I don't want to say capable, but I'm going to say capable. She's the only one that's capable of being called up right now.
I would have loved
Or
to.
worthy of being called up. I don't know.
Aleister
Something
Black,
like
if he
that.
wasn't injured. You know what? And
Oh,
again,
bring that boy up.
okay,
Bring him
on a
up.
side note here, it's going to be very, very cool that Aleister Black can now come up as quote-unquote undefeated outside of his championship match. I think he was in that match to be Brooklyn match. I think he was in there to take the pin. So that you could continue Gargano Ciampa. I would have loved to have watched Shayna Baszler debut. Very, very similar to... I bring him up again. A lot like Samoa Joe would have. Have her as someone's personal assassin.
Oh, just show up and all of a sudden just start killing everybody.
Ronda's personal assassin.
That's the only way that I
There
see.
you go.
And I think that's why I think she's got to, because everybody knows that connection with those girls. Bring her up, have her associated with Ronda. That's the only way, the only way that I would want to see her at the beginning. But then at the same time, the other two girls in NXT haven't debuted on NXT TV, have they? They've only been on house shows.
Yep.
So I think that's one of the biggest reasons is they're not even going to put them on NXT. They're going to throw them up to the main roster with Shayna.
Bring the three up as a faction.
They've got to. And join Ronda. That's the only way I think they can do it.
So do you think that makes, in this four horsewomen match, the four horsewomen of UFC are the heels?
Definitely.
So they're going
Look
to
at
turn-
what
so
Ronda's
they're
been
gonna
doing on
turn.
social media lately. She's been commenting / whatever on Becky, Charlotte, Sasha, Bayley's posts that you're the faux horsewoman.
Yeah.
Shayna's been doing the same thing. The other two have been as well, just in different forms. So it's just kind of like they're kind of... I think technically they would be, but they can be a mix of face and heels because everybody knows 4 on each side are all friends regardless. They're going to work together. I think even if Becky and Charlotte are still at each other's throats, they're still going to be on the same team because they realize who's the enemy right now. The enemy of my enemy, right?
I disagree. They can't. Like, that's why I think they're going to hold off on this until next year. It won't happen at this year's Survivor Series.
At Survivor Series,
It'll happen at Survivor Series next year.
But I don't think they'd ever do Charlotte and Ronda until after the 4 horsewomen thing.
That's what I'm saying, like,
Unless they do that at the beginning and it builds to it. I don't know. Afterwards. But it's going to be at one end of the spectrum. It's going to either start or end
I
it.
think that's the tinder that starts the fire.
Really?
I honestly think the thing that'll change the heel, to make the heel turn, is if you want to play up the Samoa Joe introduction for Shayna Baszler, have her do it to Natty.
There's no better person right now.
That's why I was shocked Natty didn't turn either at some point.
Well,
I think.
I honestly think for Evolution, Rousey's going to turn heel. But prior to.
For Evolution?
Prior to.
I don't think they'd turn her yet.
I think she's they want to make her as that badass heel. Well, that's how it's going to. That's how you do it.
Our difference in opinion here is I think they just want to make her the badass.
And
I don't think they need to make her a badass heel.
And I don't think...
Look what happened when they tried to make, I bring it back, look what happened when they tried to make Stone Cold a badass heel. Yeah, the 2-man power trip was great, but I can tell you how many times I've looked up their highlights.
But I just don't think that...
None.
I don't think they're...
Oh, God.
I don't think the WWE Universe is as sold on Ronda as a face as they would be dealing with Nikki as a face in that matchup.
I don't know. I'm just not a fan of Nikki, I'm sorry.
Base it on your crowd. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean... I don't know. But yeah, they've got to bring Shayna in as like that. But at the same time... I don't know.
There's just so many different booking possibilities, which we just hope they don't flub it. That's the biggest thing.
It's like I'm eager to see it, finally. But at the same time, it's like it needs to be done right. So, that's why I think when they did the whole Becky Charlotte thing recently, obviously recently, it just was yesterday, or whatever. But, it's kind of like Sasha Bayley. They were kind of doing this, maybe not to the... Well, actually, they were to the point of this, because Bayley did her whole you ain't shit thing and whatever. However... If it carries on, they need to have a match. No counseling. Unless they realize, we need to have this 4 horsewoman thing. We need to be on the same page.
I honestly don't think they're going to have this 4 horsewoman thing anytime soon. I think this year they're going to have the straight Raw versus SmackDown like they did last year. And then you're going to have the 4 horsewomen turn on the established stars during the match. And it's just going to end up in one big cluster.
My question, because I was thinking about this. Okay, what did they do last year again? Did they have Charlotte versus Alexa, Raw versus SmackDown?
They had champion versus champion,
okay.
And then...
My question is, I was thinking, I don't know why I randomly thought about this morning, but what if they had, like, a Survivor Series match? Like, let's just hypothetically say, Team Charlotte, Team Becky. Let them choose their own girls, go at it.
How many girls do you have that... Because they're going to want to have both rosters involved, that's the thing.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying, like, free-for-all. Choose whoever you want.
I
would love to see something like that.
I would love to see it too, but the biggest thing for me, as far as I'm concerned, Survivor Series should go back to the old school 4-on-4. I don't care which brand you're on. We hate these 4 hate these 4, and that's why we're having a match.
Yep.
Yeah.
And every match is like that.
Instead of making it like Battle of the Brands type deal.
Yeah.
Because like, what are you fighting for at that point,
it
right?
is the one time a year that the 2 brands intersect.
Nobody gives 2 hoots about...
Well, brand matching intersect.
They're on every pay-per-view together now. So.
Do you think they're not going to try and sell it as that again?
I know that's what's going to happen. It's what we want to happen. There's a whole different...
I want to see them, like, draft their own teams. Like, I want to see them be like, Charlotte's like, okay, well, I'm facing you. I get first pick. I want Sasha
there to be a new draft
or something, you know?
in WWE. I'm done with this superstar shakeup. I want the full-on draft again.
I think
I don't think
know.
I don't think they'll ever allow the draft to go on because there's too many moving parts right now, and they want to keep the brands separate. I don't feel that they're going to allow the full. Basically, they have the shake-up. That's enough for them. They don't want to explain why they have to do.
It's just
So-
random.
No,
I like the
but you know what?
randomness.
Like for me, I understand that the entertainment portion of sports entertainment takes on a greater portion than sports, but it would be very, very cool to see them play that sort of stuff up more seriously for me. I would love to see like an annual, not even an annual, even once during quote-unquote the wrestling season, WrestleMania to WrestleMania, I would love to see a draft midsummer. I would love to see a superstar shake-up or a trade
Like, we're
deadline.
gonna, you
or-
get to trade 2 of your girls
I think
and
one
3 of your boys.
Yeah, I
or-
think one of the biggest missed opportunities that they have with this superstar shakeup is the fact that they don't, play up the GMs negotiating. I hate the fact that they don't bring up anything.
They just say, "Oh, I texted Kurt Angle this afternoon. You're traded."
And that was the one time they've said that this is why this trade happened or anything like that. But other than that, it's, hey, Dean Ambrose showed up on Raw. Like, I would love to see, like, a negotiation. I think it'd be really cool if you were to
absolutely.
see...
Sure,
I
the
think
formalities,
It'd be cool to see if you were to throw in, okay, we'll give you a draft pick in the next draft. It'd be cool to see, like...
Ooh, that would be one stipulation we could have,
a 2-for-1 trade or something like that would be very, very cool.
They did that I don't want to say not that long ago, but kind of around, like, what was it, 2009, 2008? They did something similar, I think.
No,
because that was when I was still kind of watching wrestling before I went on my little hiatus.
No, the brand extension, I believe, ended way earlier than that. Would say...
It was like 02 to like 06.
I think it was 06. Around WrestleMania
Something like
22,
Was
that.
it? God,
23.
I was way off then.
And then, they didn't start till 2 years ago. So, but either way, I know what you're talking about. They said they sent a whole package of guys for the big show. That's where the
Yeah, even if it's ridiculous, it would be very, very cool to see stuff. Like, I'm a sports guy even outside of wrestling, right? Like,
Yeah.
it'd be, I don't know. Like, even, I think that Paige in kayfabe has been the best authority figure / GM /
they wrote her
whatever
so well.
in years because she goes out of her way to say, this is the reason I'm making this match. This is
Yeah,
the
like,
reason
even
I'm
if it's
making
on
this
social
match.
media. Yeah,
Exactly. There is
So
every
good.
match, and it's why right now I believe that SmackDown is a superior product. Again.
In terms of, like, overall, like, well-roundedness, definitely.
There's an explanation for pretty well. Obviously, there's going to be lapses. Pretty well everything that happens on SmackDown, there's a reason for it. They treat it like a sports show. Coming up on tonight's SmackDown Live at the start, like, that
Becky
little
explains
stuff.
herself.
That little
Yeah.
stuff makes a huge difference. And I think that if you were... That's what draws in a casual fan. Like, to me, wouldn't
Yeah.
it be cool if you were to see a headline or a tweet that goes out, like, Ronda Rousey traded to SmackDown?
Yeah. I
It
don't think
draws
we'd ever see
attention-
it, though.
Yep.
But
No, but
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that,
definitely,
I guarantee your first week viewers, after that superstar shakeup or trade deadline or whatever, your first week viewers are some of the highest you get on SmackDown that
Yep.
year. I'll
yeah,
guarantee
curiosity.
that to you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
To see
Maybe
what
they
they do.
drop from there. 100%, frankly, they drop from there because you lose that initial interest. But
They
it'd
could
be
totally
huge.
have, like, a whole... Like, they don't need to have it on TV. Do it like their live shows, like on YouTube or whatever they do, their
They're-
pre-shows, where they have, say, for example, you got 10 minutes on the clock.
Yep.
Make your trade, like with the NHL or NBA trade,
you do a
you
trade
know?
center.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm
You
trying to
have
get at.
four
Yeah.
panelists. You have Renee Young, you have Kathy Kelly, Pat McAfee, and Shitty Pete Rosenberg sitting and analyzing these trades. The Miz last year when he gets traded to Raw, you sit and you analyze. He got traded there for this guy. Why did it happen? What are their strengths? What do they bring to this? Like
Treat it
shit,
like a sport, yeah.
It adds some depth. It brings in those people who genuinely like shit. You talk about wrestling being dumb. You know what's really dumb is fantasy football.
Yeah.
And I play it. But
Yeah,
you
I
want
was
to
just
sit
about
there
to
and
say,
you want
what
to sit
the-
there and click buttons
Yeah.
to pick a player once a week? No, absolutely not. My roster's set for the year. I don't care who gets hurt on my fantasy football.
There, book it right now. Trademark. You're gonna do fantasy WWE. Who wins their
100%.
matches this week?
But like, it would be
The last
you'd bring in. I hazard a guess here that you would bring in sort of those sorts of people who would even sit there for the sort of honestly like the general managing side of it.
The last time that they actually did something like that was actually during the supplemental draft of the initial the initial draft back in 16, 15, when they initially did the breakup.
16, 15.
Yeah, that's
it
a hell of a
was
year.
2000,
Wow.
2000.
Was that 400 years ago?
That took me off guard. I was like, wait, what are we laughing at?
Jethro Tull creating the cut.
No, they
man.
did it right before. The only reason I know this is because this is when I started watching again the product, is because it happened like 2 weeks before Sasha won the title.
Yep.
So 2016, summer of 2016.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah. Boom,
Yeah.
guys! I know my Sasha trivia. Boom. That's the only reason I know. I'm like, that's the only reason I'm like. So it's kind of like before death, after death. It's
Yeah.
like when Sasha won the title, after Sasha won the title.
Yes.
That's the only time I know. I'm like, yeah, that was exactly 5 months after Sasha won the title for the third time.
Yeah. That was one of the coolest moments in, frankly, Raw history for me, period.
Was the
That
first night
entire
after the draft?
episode of Raw
Or
was
when she won it?
fantastic. Yeah, when she won it was the first episode that main evented that Raw.
No, they didn't mean that one. They were in the middle. Their one where she won it for the second and third time, I think.
Was it the last woman standing match? Or
It
that their
was
third match?
the second
That was the
match.
third one.
Yeah, the second match they had was normal, and I don't know if they main evented. I can't remember. The third one they did main event
Because
because
it was the second time they main evented since Lynch.
because I remember watching this episode live because they opened the show. And then they got counted out, and that's when Mick Foley was like, hey, this is going to be a false count anywhere. So that's like probably
That
in the
finish
top
was
10 of my
nuts,
favorite
too,
matches
around, like,
ever.
What do you call it?
Wrapped around
Guardrail,
the-
I
yeah.
guess.
She's got her
The
wrapped
handrail.
up tap.
man.
Oh, so good. So good. And I think Rick came out after that, hey?
Yep.
He, like, I got chills.
That was after what happened
Rick-
then?
Rick
He was
gave- Rick
just out of
gave
the
support.
hospital or something.
No, that was way
put
before
her
that
over or
happened.
something. Yeah, Rick came on and put Sasha over.
Yeah, that's what it was.
It was really good. I loved it. One of my, probably in my top 10 of favorite matches for women
It just
is that
has to
one.
be said too. Like everybody who talks right now about, like, I'm even personally of the belief here. Don't get me wrong. That Sasha Banks should turn heel and that she's a better heel. Like I absolutely agree, but I think people forget the fact that they wrote Sasha off TV for 5 months because people were chanting "We want Sasha" and they wanted to build her as a baby.
It was like 2 months for sure, because it was around the time
It was the entire time
before she
of the
returned.
It was the entire time of the Becky Lynch feud, and I can nearly guarantee that.
Because she returned at Royal Rumble that year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So it was probably 2
I popped
months.
like a madman for that. It was nuts.
It was a good return.
It was absolutely
Didn't watch
awesome.
it live because I wasn't watching the product yet, but when I went back and I got chills when they popped for her, I was like,
I can't
oh,
remember.
so good.
There's probably been like 2 or 3 pay-per-views over the last couple of years that I haven't watched live, and none of them have been a major pay-per-view. I booked time off work for this shit.
Pretty much everything since Sasha won the title for the first time, because that's like, obviously, we talked about this.
Yeah.
That's when I started watching the product again. So everything since then I haven't missed.
Yeah.
Although it makes my schedule is stupid, so I can't watch things live half the time, but I try. Especially if Sasha's there, you know, gotta. She's my girl, you know? One
Well,
day.
you can watch her taking the pin every Monday night.
Yep.
Whoop, there it is! Whoop! I didn't say it, you said it! My poor girl, at least she looks good doing it. She sells that Riott kick like you wouldn't believe.
Oh yeah, and I hate to say it. It's to build for her eventual heel turn, whether that's 6 months or 6 years from now. I guarantee in the heel turn package before her first pay-per-view match.
You know what?
There's going to be a Riott kick as part of it.
She needs to be like, obviously when she eventually turns heel. But you know what? She's like, after this last Monday when I saw the look on Bayley's face with Ronda, etc. When I was watching, I was like, you know what? When you turn, just bring Bayley the hell with you, because man, that would be so cool to see Bayley as a heel.
I would buy Bayley as a heel more than I buy Becky Lynch as a heel.
Right now,
Yep.
I think because Becky's like probably the most
Right now, tomorrow,
over-faced,
2
quote
weeks from
unquote.
now, anytime.
I'd say
That would be cool
I
to
could
see.
I could totally see
I met Bayley
Bayley.
once.
I have not.
I got a
I've
hug
seen
from
her
her
in.
at Survivor Series, and she seemed very perturbed that I asked for a hug.
Is that when she won it, or when she got eliminated first? Which year
No,
was
this
this?
was, oh yeah, she was on the main roster at that point.
Which year?
This was 2016. Year Lesnar Goldberg squashed Lesnar. So that was the year.
2016. So that was when her and Charlotte won it.
Yeah.
Raw won
and
it.
then,
And then she
Charlotte
killed
beat the
Bayley.
shit out of her.
It was good, yeah.
Leading to coming up again on Win Column Sports in bad decisions in booking history. Bayley not relinquishing the title to Charlotte after Fastlane.
That's why they had
When
had
Sasha
Sasha
Banks-
out there, though.
Yeah, but no, it was dumb. It was very, 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 very.
They shouldn't have just done it to begin
very,
with.
Very,
Let it
dumb.
go.
It was match bad.
You know what? Let me just put it out there. He made a good choice with that girl named Envy, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. I was very disappointed she didn't have a match last Saturday. I think that no matter what, she needs to be booked on the card. That's just.
Well, she was there, but I mean, like, scheduling conflicts,
she was there.
you can't really
Title
do
looked
much.
good.
You know?
Kick to the head looked good.
Of course, yeah.
Need to see more kicks to the head.
Well,
I don't disagree.
Get her
with
on
you.
the card.
She was there. She was promo.
I'm
you know?
I'm not going near
Sure.
her. No, I don't care. Like,
She's cool. She's a cool person. I don't know.
apparently she's supposed to be around CWC tomorrow. I just don't want to.
Never
Yeah,
mind.
by the time this drops,
I was gonna say today's not Friday.
by the time this drops, it'll be tomorrow. I don't know if I want to be around her because I'm a little bit scared of what she did to Pride. So I don't want to know what she
Scared
can
too,
do.
man. It's not like I'm gonna talk to her. I like watching good wrestling.
She doesn't talk. She's a mute.
Yeah, but she's gonna freaking smear you with that goop juice or whatever.
Love to get a
Juice.
card. Hello, I am Envy. I am a mute.
I'm mute. I am a sign. And we
I
may
am
have
not
to start
ignoring
carrying
you.
it.
I am a mute.
All right,
Boop, boop.
I think we've officially headed off the rails here at this point.
It's gone.
Officially, okay, yeah, because you know what? It's been about an hour here, Mike, and we were off the rails about 6 minutes into it.
Yeah, touche.
Or like before it started, because I started it earlier and we had to delete that, so. Alright, Spencer, plug your shit.
Plug my shit. Wow, that's just
Not that
randomly thrown at
shit,
me.
but your social media shit.
Okay, first and foremost, you can find us at wincolumnsports.ca for all your previews, reviews, and breaking news. Not only from the world of wrestling, which is the best sport, but there are many other sports there. We got hockey, we got football, we got fantasy. Baseball. You can also find me personally at SpennyLove_WCS. Who else do I want to plug? I want to plug the people at Backbreaker Media. I want to plug...
Hey, I can plug my own.
Wait,
Shut
before
up.
we go any further, hi Hayden.
Oh,
Hi,
hi,
Hayden.
I want to plug my co-host, Hayden, who, again, is unable to be here due to work commitments. We respect the grind here at
How dare
at
you
Win
have a
Column
job.
Sports. You can follow him at HLoveMillionaire with no E at the end of it. Not only good life advice, but the way he spells his Twitter handle. Other than that, not really many to plug. Other than the rest of us at the Win Column Sports Network, listen to Fry and the Guy and the Is It Over Yet podcast. That's about it. That's all. Plug yourselves. This is the Electrician's Corner.
Oh, you can follow me at Kayla Jamies. Instagram and Twitter. And I don't know where Kayla is wrestling, KJ is wrestling. Yeah, you just gotta follow it out.
I don't know how the host goes before me, but that's okay.
You know
We'll go with
what? Ladies first. That's why Spencer went first.
Yeah, so Spencer went
I'm
first.
a little now. Come on, thanks very much.
All right, well,
I think we'll go like official order as special guest, ladies. Mike.
Mike.
Mike. And Mike. Go ahead, Mike.
I got a feeling when I'm not here next week, I'm just going to have to plug something.
No,
at the end
our
of the
whole
show
thing is
anyway.
going to turn into an hour of Sasha Banks praise.
So, I
dying.
did tease earlier in the podcast here that I have a special announcement. Now, anybody that's followed Backbreaker Media knows that I have my own podcast known as the Blown Calls Show, and I promised everybody I would not bring it back up until I had a decent topic to talk about. Well, this little Becky Lynch, interesting, I don't know how the hell they want to book this with the fans thing, has piqued my interest. So, the Blown Calls Show number 97 will be coming out this Tuesday.
The Connor McDavid edition.
Exactly.
Woo!
It's going to be such a stellar one, and we are going to be talking about booking and fan interaction, dealing with what fans look at, the science between dealing with the interaction on promos, and what companies are actually looking for, because as much as we talk about it between people that are very familiar here, there's an interesting demographic that we have to go through. And I'm not doing this alone. Not only am I going to have my commentary on it, but I have a very special interview with the, I believe he calls himself Ham 2, of the Two Baked Hams
that's
podcast.
my boy.
You don't even know which one it is yet.
They're both my boys. It's gotta be Jonah because Pride's working. So
Jonah Condro of the Two Baked Hams podcast will be my guest. He considers himself a casual fan. He just got into wrestling, and he's into the arts and whatnot. So I wanted to pick his brain about what makes a good promo, what he's looking for as a fan, and basically his thoughts on wrestling. So make sure you check that out on iTunes, Google, YouTube, Spotify, Podbean, and
all platforms.
Facebook. I make sure I get them all out. I am working on getting our merchandise store
Spencer
moved.
guy has a lot of cheap plugs.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Put
Mike.
yourself over. Are you over yet?
Put myself over. Mike.
You can find Spencer's stuff everywhere you can find our stuff, okay? And
You can find my stuff where the boys' stuff is. That's fine.
we're also trying to get our merchandise store moved over to the proper name. It's still under the old franchise, Edmonton Sports Podcast Network. Check out the show notes. Check out the video on demand. Check out Power Slam TV. Check out Envy because she will kill me if you don't. Actually, she'll let me live if you don't. I know half the crowd wants me to die, so
Jack
maybe
Pride.
That is dark.
Pride takes offense
to what?
to you. He'll beat you up. He gets a little angry.
Everybody likes me.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody hates me, so it's all good.
Okay,
and make sure you come check me out at the Monster Pro Wrestling Face-Off show, September 1st at the Alberta Avenue Hall. Chris Parrish, Sean Martins, one-on-one, as well as I'm going to guess future guests on this network or on this show. I'm going to guess that. Would Chris Parrish not?
Who's that?
Oh, by the way, did you hear about the Sounds of Struggle podcast and Maniac's offer?
What was his
No,
offer?
haven't listened yet.
Maniac doesn't like
me,
though.
It actually dropped yesterday. He is offering to come in and have a bra and panties match with you, and he's willing to take the fall.
Jeez. Only if I get to kick him in the face.
I'm sure he's
a wrestling match.
Bra and panties. Where did he go? Did he go to Dollar Store and get that stuff?
You can ask him. I don't want to even think about that, but
He just wants to see my abs. I've been working really hard on them.
I think this is the point where we need to end this podcast now.
All right.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Thanks for joining us, Spencer. You might be back next week when we have the Everybody Praises Sasha podcast.
You've got to vote. You've got to collaborate with everyone else and make sure I'm allowed back on first, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, next week I'm sure you're going to be talking about bracketology for the
Yeah, we're going to be
Classic.
talking about that.
I know.
Talk about some other things.
I know I'm not going to be here next week, but when I come back, we're actually going to start talking a little bit of Impact Wrestling too, because there is a lot of
some interesting stuff
women's
going on.
wrestling talk there.
Oh man, I have been singing the praises of Impact since Callis took over. They've been absolutely fantastic. Canadian based, I do have to throw that one right out there.
All right. Well, we're going to have to save that for another episode
Yep,
here.
you know what? There we go.
Are we done here?
We're good.
All right, so folks, just remember, if you're going to take any false finishes, make sure you hit the double down.
Boom. There we go.